Hey folks, welcome to Fyrefly's Follies. I hope that you enjoy the video today. If you do, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope that you will and that you'll stick around for a while. Today I'm going to show you how I make House Pickles or pickled green tomatoes. I'll leave the full recipe in the description below. I've adjusted the ingredient amounts for my preference. I'm not a fan of jalapeno, and for the amount that I have. But I will leave the original full recipe in the description box below. So what I've done is I've chopped up my green tomatoes. So I'm going to get them in the pan. And I had one that had started to get just a little bit pink, but I went ahead and threw him in there anyway. So I've got my green tomatoes. I've got onions and peppers that I've chopped up and gotten ready. Alright, and to this, short, simple ingredients, you have tomatoes, onions, red bell peppers. I actually had a couple of half tricolor peppers left over from dinner the other night. I used those. Jalapeno, which I decided to leave out. I don't like mine very spicy. Then you need celery seed. And canning salt or kosher salt. You can use table salt, it just makes it a little cloudy. That's the reason they say to use canning salt. And then you need vinegar. So I like to do 1/3 apple cider and 2/3 white vinegar. You could do all apple cider vinegar. You could do all white vinegar. It's entirely up to your personal preference. So I'm going to pour this in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up to a boil. And then I'm going to reduce the heat, and I'm going to let it simmer for 5 minutes. Now, I'm water bath canning today, and I'm using my Corningware water bath canner. I have my jars in. It's just at a simmer. I brought them up to a full boil, and I sanitized them by boiling them for 10 minutes. And now I've reduced the heat on it, and I'm keeping it at a simmer so they stay nice and hot while this gets ready. And I also have hot water going in my kettle that is just at a simmer. It's just got little tiny wisps of steam. So while this is coming up to heat, I'm going to grab a bowl and some lids. I'm going to get my lids in my bowl and pour hot water over them because we're water bath canning. Now, the first time that I ever had this particular relish was at this little middle of nowhere restaurant in Mountainburg, Arkansas, at a place called the Catfish Hole. And their catfish is amazing. Their coleslaw is amazing. They serve you pinto beans. It was all delicious, but I could have passed on everything else and just eaten the relish. It was that good. I'd never had it before, and it is my all-time favorite pickle now. So every year, if I don't have a garden, I beg my friends for green tomatoes. And my friend Shelly was kind enough to send me home with a whole bunch of green tomatoes so that I can make green tomato pickles. Alright, so I have my lids getting warm. My jars are already hot. I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and then I'll reduce it and let it simmer. And once that is done, I will bring you back. Okay, I brought the pickles up to a boil, and I reduced the heat, and I've let them simmer for about 5 minutes. So now we're going to fill some jars. Grab a ladle, a funnel, and a debubbler. Make some space over here for sorry for the noise. Now, you do not have to can these. If you prefer to just make refrigerator pickles, you can take them to this point, put them in a jar and stick them in your fridge, and in 2 weeks you will have delicious refrigerator pickles. Oh, it smells so good. We are going to fill these to about 3/4 inch headspace. And if you look at your threads, that is the very lowest point right here where the thread starts. That's about 3/4 of an inch visually. I should have put a towel down because I can't do any of this without making a mess. Right, and then we are going to debubble. I had a couple of big bubbles in it. Check the headspace. That one looks good. Everything's under the liquid. This one actually has a little more space in the top. So I'm going to drop in a couple more tomatoes. Looks good. So let me grab a piece of paper towel. Using plain white vinegar. Now I'm going to clean the rims because I make a mess with everything. But this serves two purposes. One, the vinegar cleans everything off the rim so that you get a good seal. And two, as I prepare my jars when I'm washing them, I always check the rims to make sure there are no nicks or bumps or anything that's out of the ordinary that might interfere with the seal. But this gives you a second pass. When you're cleaning it, you can feel again and make sure that there is nothing there that might interfere with your seal. Now with these, you want to be extra vigilant about cleaning because I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's celery seed in this and they will get on the rim and that will prevent you from getting a good seal. All right? So I've had my lid sitting in hot water. I'm going to put my lids on. We're just going to go fingertip tight. That's my vinegar over. We're going to put these back in the canner and we're going to get out some more jars. And y'all, I'm not going to lie, I can sit and eat an entire pint of these at one time. I'm going to can some half pints for portion control if for no reason other than that. Now, y'all can use whatever onions you prefer. I prefer a red onion in these. But you can use white onion, you can use yellow onion, you can use hot onion, you can use sweet onion. I made them one year with some Vidalia onions and they were delicious. Now I've also got a kettle of boiling water going right here. It's not quite boiling, it's simmering. Just in case this happens, I'm down to the very last of my canning brine. So there is a possibility that I will have to add just a touch of water to one or two of these. That one looks good. That one's going to need just a little bit of water. That one's going to need just a little bit of water. And again, we are just going fingertip tight on these. So I'm going to get these in the canner and I'm going to bring it back up to a boil, and once it comes to a full rolling boil, I'm going to process these for 15 minutes and then I'm going to turn them off and let them rest for about 5 minutes, and then we'll get them out and see how they turned out. The downside to making fish house pickles or green tomato pickles is I'm going to can these today. Tomorrow I'll put them in the pantry. It'll be 2 to 3 weeks before they're ready to eat. I have to wait that long for them. So I'm going to bring these back up to a boil and get them processed for 15 minutes and cooled for 5, and then I will bring you back. Okay. So I brought them up to a full rolling boil. I let them process for 15 minutes. I turned them off and I let them sit for 5 minutes. So let's see what we ended up with. Y'all, can I just tell you, my house smells so good. I think I heard a couple of them ping already, which is music to a canner's ear. Those are just about to. I can see the bubble in them. Last one. Alright, let me see if I can get the camera to focus on it for you. Green tomato pickles. It's got little bits of red onions, it's got little bits of yellow, red, and orange bell peppers, celery seed, vinegar. I'm telling y'all, these are amazing. This is my all-time favorite pickle. Relish. I put it on everything. Burgers, hot dogs, side dish. Love it. So what I'm going to do is I put them in a pan so I can move them over to the dining room. I'm going to put them on the table in the dining room and I'm going to leave them alone until tomorrow. Tomorrow, there was one ceiling. Tomorrow I'll come back and I will take the rings off and check the seals. I'll wash the jars and I'll label them and put them in the pantry. Now, in addition to the date that I canned it on these, I will put the date that it's ready to eat, because it needs to sit in the pantry for 2 to 3 weeks at least. It's better if you can wait a month. I will probably test a jar in 2 weeks just to see how they're doing. I will admit this about myself. I've been waiting on these. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these turned out this year. I didn't put jalapeno in them this year. And again, that is a taste preference. I don't care for jalapeno in them. I think it makes them have a little too much bite. I think the bell peppers and the vinegar give it plenty. I really hope that you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and leave a comment. It really does help get my channel out there in the mainstream. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope that you will and that you'll stick around for a while. If you hit the bell, they'll notify you when I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a great day.